Good morning and welcome. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Monday, and I hope it finds you well out there. Did you have a great weekend? We had rain in the Valley of the Sun a little bit yesterday, but a big storm rolled in early this morning. Kind of cool if you were up early like I am. A lot of thunder, a lot of lightning. Pretty cool. Looks like it's starting to pass over now, but we always love any type of rain. Here we are in June. The weather's still really nice. It's coming. The heat is coming. We all know it's coming, but at least for another day, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And speaking of beautiful, gold flying this morning as more trade stuff happening. I think more concerns about the bond market, the big, beautiful bill. Now they're saying we're going to have to raise the debt ceiling $5 trillion instead of $4 trillion. What's another trillion? Of course, still, that only gets us till next year. It's not like they're going to do a whole lot with it. When or when not will the president and Xi Jinping talk? I don't know, right? There's the stalling of talks with the Chinese. Jamie Dimon out again. You know what? Jamie Dimon said a lot of stuff this weekend. A lot of stuff. And I don't know how to take it. I'll be honest. It's something where I may be saying things that are unexpected. You know, last week, remember, he warned about what was coming in the debt markets, praising the Chinese government in their handling of their economy, and say, well, maybe I don't agree with everything that they do, but China has lifted its people up. And then over the weekend, he was out again, and there was some economic forum that he was talking at, and said that the ongoing tensions, when asked what the biggest worry right now, Jamie Dimon talked about the shifting global geopolitical and economic landscape, including trade, including debt. We have problems, and we've got to deal with them. Talking about the enemy is within. Now, some people talked about, he's talking about Donald Trump. I don't know that. I wouldn't say that. What he was talking about, the enemy from within, includes fixing how the United States approaches permitting, regulation, taxation, immigration, education, and the healthcare system. Did you miss anything? Right, kind of just more or less saying, man, our government's doing a really crappy job. Right? Look, they can't get anything right. And he said, talking about important military alliances, China is a potential adversary. So he said, potential. Didn't really call them an adversary. They're doing a lot of things well. They have a lot of problems. Well, that's nice. I mean, at least we're not the only ones. What I'm really worried about is us. Can we get our own act together? Our own values, our own capabilities, our own management. said that the United States is not the preeminent military and preeminent economy in 40 years. We will not be the reserve currency. That's a fact. So Jamie Dimon laying out, if the United States doesn't get its act together, that we will not be the world's reserve currency any longer. And think about this. 40 years, okay, barring some craziness, right? I'll be, 95 years old, so I probably won't be here. But my kids will. My grandkids will, right? That's not long. It's not a long time at all. And then he went on to say that I just got back from China last week. They're not scared, folks. So, our TV, oh my gosh, China, they're in big problems. Jamie Dimon said, I was just there. They're not scared. The notion that they're going to bow to America, don't count on that. So, Jason, very interesting comments coming out of Jamie Dimon and saying, hey, listen, we're missing the boat here. We better hurry up and get our act together because the Chinese, they're not playing. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Monday. The Dow down 165 points. The S&P's down 9. The Nasdaq's up 9. The 10-year note higher today, 444, as we continue to watch here as, again, I don't know what's going to happen with the big, beautiful bill. Boy, it's going to be a lot of spending. I mean, and people, and it's hard, and I get it, because you're like, well, I don't have to take anything too serious until Wall Street collapses, right? And then everybody starts to freak out. No, it's already here. It's here. I mean, it's almost laughable that we're sitting here discussing what the new plan is, which is we're going to try to grow our way out. Isn't that what we've been trying to do since the financial crisis? I mean, seriously. Have you guys not figured it out? Before the financial crisis, the debt was 5-6 trillion? Right? I mean, it wasn't that long ago. I mean, I don't know. Where are we? I don't know. We're not sure. We know it's somewhere around 37, 38, and we know we're going to be at 40 trillion sometime early next year. And by late next year, what are we going to be talking about? 43 trillion? And nobody thinks that's a problem? Okay. Keep thinking that way. Oil's up $2. What the heck? What happened? Well, simply put, Saudi Arabia and OPEC didn't increase oil production the way that people were hoping they were going to do. So now we've got oil up today. We'll see how long it lasts. Gold's up $85, $33.75. I'm just going to warn you. Breaks above 3,400. Look out. Look out. Could we be setting up for 4,000? Some people think so. We'll talk about that in a minute. Silver. Uh-oh. Is it coming? Is it time? Is it breaking out? Up almost $1.50 right now. 34.40. $35, right? That's the magic number. If it gets above there, how soon to 40? And the worry for some in silver, if it gets to 40, does it go to 50? And why is that? Well, because the last time it went to 50, I was on the air the last time it went to 50 with Eric. And it just went nuts. It went from 40 to 50. Wall Street had to call a timeout. They had to change all the rules, right? They did all this stuff to stop it there. I don't know if they're going to be able to stop it this time around. Platinum, platinum, I'm loving it. Up $15 right now, 1,067. Palladium up as well. Remember, and I know we've been talking a lot about TEXIT and all those great opportunities, but remember, preserve your wealth. Wealth preservation, that's what gold and silver are for. Continue to get more diversified. There really is very few good outcomes. I wish there was more. Is it possible to grow out of it? In other words, okay, we know we're going to jump the debt we're just to give perspective, we're talking about increasing the debt, 20, 30, potentially 40% yearly? That's a huge, huge number. Huge. And the goal is that we'll grow faster than that. But here's what history tells us. Again, I'm not an economist. Right? It's not what I do. But I do study things. And it seems pretty simple. We've gone from a $5 trillion debt to a $40 trillion debt in about 15 years. And what do we have to show for it? Has the GDP grown more than the debt or less than the debt? And it's an easy answer. Less, by a lot. Not by a little, by a lot. Right? Remember, we were bumping around, 2-3% of GDP. Right? Now we're talking about somewhere between 7.5% and 10% of GDP. And the brilliant plan is, if we just spend more money, somehow we can get it to change. Jason, I think a lot of people are going to be really disappointed in what the results are.
Spend, and let's get some inflation going, and that's okay because crashing and burning, we want to avoid that. So the only avenue they think they have is that. I find it interesting. Elon Musk doesn't see it as a big, beautiful bill anymore. I heard a interview. He said, "We're going to get. Is this real? Is Elon actually walking away from this thing? Is he? I heard him say, "Oh, well, you can't have big and beautiful. Apparently, you can't have both. You can have one." He says you can't have big and beautiful. So I don't know. It sure looks like Elon Musk is walking away because he's like, look, here's some things you need to do, and they can't even do the smallest of the small things. I saw, whatever it was, the hundreds of millions of dollars of cuts that they were putting together, and what they ended up with all of the Doge stuff is a cut of $9 million. That's what's in this bill, Joe. I heard that there's just a cut from all the Doge cuts. There's a $9 million cut, and there is an increase all across the board for everything else. So I can see why he walked away. It doesn't look too good for it. It sure looks like spend, Joe. And man, I'm seeing some stuff on cryptos. I'm seeing some stuff on bank regulations and where they're going to stuff all these treasuries that need to be bought up to paper it over. Paper over the problem, Joe. Find places to stuff these things. It's like if every IOU if it was $10. Okay, where would you what would that stack of paper? Where would you be stuffing that? You'd be stuffing in your pillowcases and stuffing it in your closet. And where are you going to stuff all this stuff? At $10 per scrap of paper, it would be an unending mess. But you got to stuff it somewhere. You'll end up drowning in a sea of paper, right? That's what's happening. It's going to happen. We have inflation. I'm seeing some stuff about inflation, Joe, that's getting ready to come. That just looks awful. It just this country and across the world, we're looking at some painful stuff, and I think it's unavoidable. I think it's completely unavoidable. I think gold's going to be $5,000 next year. The way it looks, gold could be $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 next year. It easily could be there. That's how bad it looks.
Well, the people at Goldman Sachs now saying that they are ready to bury the legacy 60-40, right? 60% stocks, 40% bonds. And they're now saying that pension funds, insurance companies, remember, something China just did earlier this year, is saying that Goldman Sachs is now saying that pension funds and the largest institutions that allocate big money need to, quote, open our eyes to the shot across the bow and saying that they need to start instituting gold into their portfolios immediately. They weren't done. Then they went on to say, it's interesting because Jason was talking about $5,000 or $6,000 gold. They're now out saying, hey, just from a technical perspective, gold price will double again in the next 2 years. And after that, so think about this. That's what, 7,000? Just below? Let's call it 7,000. Let's keep round numbers. $3,500 gold, doubling in 2 years, and then why it could keep going. And they sit there and they talk about technical patterns. They talk about the old legacy 60-40 portfolio that no longer works, and that the need for all of the big money institutions to get out of bonds and into gold. And they said that the monthly gold pricing, they got a 5% box and a 3-box reversal, all of these technical chartist stuff, means it's going to $7,000, and it's going to do it extremely quickly. And Sell America is a tailwind for gold. And they started talking, Jason, again, the issues with the debt. It's simple. Everybody knows it now. Did we finally get to the point where, okay, we can't ignore the math any longer, Jason?
Well, once again, it's going to be kick the can down the road. They're going to do everything they can to push this further down. I think Joe, I really think there's avenues that they're going to try to push this thing, and it will be inflation. Foreign countries holding treasuries, right, Joe? We talk about Japan and China all the time. You won't believe this. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but I think it's kind of a big deal. Guess who's in the number 21 position? You won't believe it. The number 21 position of foreign holdings of treasuries is Tether.
Yep.
Tether.
Yep. Stable coins.
They're going to start gobbling up this mess. The banks are going to be allowed to print money and fill their balance sheets with these higher interest treasuries to buy themselves out of all this low interest crap that they have. Bank of America being in the worst position. What is it? I forget what it was, $9 billion or $7 billion of this stuff. They're already unrealized losses of $1 billion. It's $900 billion, $700 billion of low interest stuff from COVID. That's Bank of America. Bank of America, which holds 40% of all deposits in the United States. And they have $700 billion of this stuff, and already $100 billion of it is considered unrealized losses. If they have to start to sell this stuff off, it will be a banking crisis. So what do? You relax the regulations, the leverage ratio, right? Are they going to let these banks just buy themselves out of it so that they hope that they can take those low interest ones to maturity and buy themselves enough time to buy the higher interest stuff? But see, here's the problem. What if they can't hold those interest rates? What if it goes? What if the 10-year goes to 5 or 6%, and no matter how much they try to stop it, it's going to be 5 or 6% or 8%? Then buying treasuries at this level will be the same as buying the 1% during COVID. That's where it's headed.
800-951-0592. Joe and Jason on this Monday. I said I wasn't going to do it. I shouldn't do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. $34.95 on $20 gold. One last day. We got gold at $33.75, so do the math, right? I mean, we're in whisper shots of spot here, and then on top of that, giving you a number again, 3,400. Look out. Does gold take the next leg forward? I think a lot of this is going to depend on how much debt really. Rand Paul was out today saying, I can't go along with this bill. I want to have tax cuts like everybody else, but $5 trillion to the debt is kind of ridiculous. And listen, and that's optimistic numbers. I hate to tell you that, but it's true. Who's going to buy it? I don't know. Jason's right. They are already in talks right now to change the rules. You know, it's so funny. They put all these rules in place in 2008, and all the rules for the banks seemingly have gone away, right? They just keep getting rid of one at a time. Now the Treasury market rule, they're going to do the same thing. I think it's just a matter of, I don't know, give it another week, maybe two, and they'll be forced to do it. Why? In an attempt to provide a little more liquidity to the market itself. And here's the problem. It's just a little more. It's not enough. And they already know. You just don't know. You're the ones that don't know. You know, and I don't care what you do as long as you get protected. Wall Street is not safe. It's not. I wish it was. The bond market is telling you it's not safe. Heck, everybody's telling you. Is there a financial institution in the last month that hasn't come out and either said, stop buying bonds, or, is the unthinkable getting ready to happen? What's the unthinkable? Well, the unthinkable is everyone's lost confidence in the United States and the dollar. That's the unthinkable. And here's the thing. People would think, well, it would have to happen with some kind of patsy like Joe Biden. No. Here's the thing. For everybody out there, it's just math. It's not that hard. Right? How many people showed up at the auction today? That's not very many. How many people wanted to buy it at the price that we said, when I tell you, hey, the 10-year note's at 4.4. How many people wanted to buy it at that price? That's not good.
No.
Right?
Who's going to buy it,
It just
Joe?
happens.
Who's going to buy it?
Over and over and over. And they make excuse after excuse after excuse. Right? And you're sitting there saying, well, the economy's not horrible. You're right, it's not. But we're spending $2.5 trillion more than we're taking in. And the best thing we can say is it's not horrible. That's not good enough. It's not good enough.
Yep. The projections for stable coins at the end of 2028 is to have $1.6 trillion in stable coins. It's projecting Japan to be at around $1 trillion. And China is kind of where it's at, but those are all projections. I think those countries will probably be less at the end of 2028. Stable coins, 1.6 trillion. They're projected at 2028, the end of Trump's term, to be the largest holders of U.S. Treasuries. That's the one big bag they're going to stuff it in. That keeps a little bit of pressure off the Fed. Why do I get the feeling the Fed can buy so many? But I think they're looking at, wait a minute, we can't buy that many. Where can we stuff this? China doesn't want it. Japan doesn't want it. Well, what about some? I'll put some stuff in some stable coins on the side here. We'll just stuff it there, and it'll look like somebody's holding it there. Who's actually going to be holding it, Joe? That's the whole thing with cryptos. Who is actually holding it there, right? So it's they're going to find it, Joe. They're going to find a way. It's a rigged system. They're going to the panic and the scare tactics, the fear is going to be. It's going to smell to high heaven, but they'll find a way. They'll find a way, and what that usually means, Joe, is a lot of printing, and we know this. And that means some of the prices. They're blaming tariffs on some of these goods coming in being more expensive. Yeah. It really is not tariffs. It's inflation. It is bad inflation. I mean, China's been printing for a while now. We haven't even seen the effects of all the China's printing. We talk about our printing, right, Joe? What about China's printing? We can call it tariffs. Maybe we should call it tariffs, but maybe it's China's printing that's causing the price of all this stuff to be expensive coming in. You got to think about it. It's not just dollars. It's yuans. It's euros. It's rubles. It's all this stuff. It's being printed in Japan. Never mind Japan. When's the last time they stopped printing? Gosh. Right?
We haven't heard the last of that one. That is for sure. And now we got the 10-year notes jumping again here. So did we have a bad early auction? I don't know. 447 now. Wall Street now down 300 points. Again, $20 gold pieces. This is going to be the final day here. $34.95 at 800 951 0592. So we have gold and silver today, very close now to breakout numbers, right? So silver's up almost $1.50, just under $34.50. Remember, $35. A big move today, and this is what silver does. It's always little brother. Right, I keep saying, watch out for little brother. Right, he's wild. The second board. You're right. You're not as strict on the second board one. He tends to wander off track. Looks like he may be getting focused here. Digital money is coming. Are you going to fight it? Or are you going to accept it and try to benefit from it? Pacer Radio News Hour. 800 888-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour, Joe and Jason. On this Monday, $20 gold, $34.95. That's gold and silver now. Back into the crosshairs of, is it ready to make the next leg? We've had a good, month of consolidation. I mean, that's a lot in this market anyway. Is that ending? We will see. Be interesting. There was a major attack from Ukraine deep into Russia yesterday, and vice versa. But Ukraine took out a bunch of Russian bombers, and everyone is worried that the Russians now are going to be like, okay, that's how it's going to go down. Just look out. I'm just saying that's going to be another factor that we haven't talked. There's so many. But we keep telling you, do you want to be left behind? You can't. It's up to you. Keep your money in your stock portfolio. See how it works out. I don't care. Buy bonds. Go ahead. Right?
Oh, boy.
Sure. Okay. Maybe they'll go down. I'm shaking my head for those of you that don't have us on the stream. No.
Well, you're the one that says the 5%, that's the level, right? You got to keep it below the 5%, the panic level, and that's when the printing machine comes in, right? I put it on the thing. The Genius Act, that's set to pass today.
Yeah.
It's
they didn't pass it last week, but it's passing, and I love this name.
Genius Act.
Look how brilliant we are. We're genius. What does that mean? That's just getting ready for digital money and to regulate the issuance and exchange of stablecoins.
Well, and let me read this real quick, Joe. Among other provisions, the bill would require stablecoins whose value is typically pegged to the dollar to hold reserves of liquid safe assets like treasury bills. Issuers would have to follow an anti-money laundering and terrorism finance rule to give holders of coins priority to recoup their money in a bankruptcy. There you go. Buy a bunch of treasuries because we're having a hard time figuring out who's going to buy them. Elon Musk walking out of the White House. I wonder if he's just I wonder if he's not playing ball with the monetary game that's going on. And boy, oh boy, it's going to be an interesting couple of years, Joe, because it sure seems like things are coming to a head. And man, this is where gold and silver shine brightest.
Yeah. Well, this is why. I mean, now they're talking 7,000 gold. I mean, just for the last month or so, as gold's consolidated, everybody and their brother, 4,000, 4,500. 5,000. Now it's 7,000. And the more they spend, the higher it's going to be. But it's also why, Jason and I, we've been talking about TEXIT, the digital crypto, kind of the second chance at Bitcoin. It's a risk, but we like it. We're excited about it, right? Our families are in it. It's coming. You might as well learn how to deal with it. What does that mean? Well, having a crypto account, right? Knowing how to turn a crypto back into dollars, right? Learning how to take and buy and sell these things. Why? Because you're going to need it. Period. It's already here. The Genius Act. It is genius. It's genius, all right. Listen, so they're $995 a share. You only can buy 9. That's it. The only way you can get more is if you recommend somebody else. Why? Because they want to have hundreds of thousands of people all mining it. Versus big banks, hedge funds, right? Guys with deep pockets. There's no BlackRocks, right? There's no State Streets. There's no JP Morgans. At 5 shares, so $9.95. I got to get my calculator up because I'm not that smart. And instead of just saying 5,000, you buy 5 shares at $995 a piece. That's $49.75. They're going to give you a 6 share for free. If you buy the 9 shares, which is the most you can buy, and that's $89.55, they'll give you 2 shares for free. If you want to get signed up, call us here at Patriot at 800-951-0592. We got a meeting that's going to be Wednesday in Johnstown for you Colorado folks that maybe, hey, you know what? I'm interested, and I hear Joe and Jason talking about it, but I need more, right? I need a slideshow. I need to hear a question. I have questions that maybe haven't been asked. Jason, what time is that meeting?
Wednesday at 6 o'clock. I know that there's a lot of people that want to come to ask questions. I know some very basic stuff is starting to confuse people. I do the best I can when I sign you up to give you the basic information. This is computer money, so you need to be able to operate in the computer space. So we're going to cover a lot of that with you. Don't feel stupid. It's not a stupid thing. It's just a learning curve, and a lot of you guys have done well and learned. Others have been busy, and you haven't paid attention to this investment you put your money in. Wednesday will help you out. We'll try to sign some new people up. Mike Morris has got his presentation he'll bring, and it's an outstanding place to be right now. I'm excited about it. Ups or downs, right, Joe? Nothing goes straight up. Right now I have nothing but praise for TEXIT Coin until we see something different.
800-951-0592. $20 gold pieces, $34.95. And then we were talking about TEXIT and the new rewards programs that are out there for everybody. If you want to have a meeting here in Phoenix, we do them all the time. Just call up. We'll be happy to have you come in and sit you down and walk you through all of this. One of the questions that I promised I would answer on the air today, what's the difference becoming a miner, which is the program we're talking about, or just buying the coin outright? It's a great question. I've actually done both. I'm both. I bought the coin, and I'm a miner. But what's the difference? Very simply put, if you buy the coin, let's say the coin's like $1, right? I could buy $9,000 of the coin, and if it goes to $2, I can sell it, and I've doubled my money. Yep, you're right. You can't. The great part about being a miner is you get coins every single day. And if you refer some people, you can get more coins, but they come every day. As the price goes up, the value of the coins that have already been mined go up with it. See, the mine doesn't care about the price. The mine, it makes, and it varies, but they right around 95,000 coins a day, every day, regardless of what the price is. So it's a kind of a different way of going about the same thing. You can obviously, TXC is the symbol. You can buy it on Dex Trade if you would like. Coming later this summer, it'll be on Kraken and Coinbase, and you can buy them there as well. But this is more about being a part of something, private money that's not involved with the government, and being able to own a piece of a mine without actually having to do the mining itself, right? Kind of cool. I don't know anything about mining coins. Smart guys do. Hey, I get a couple of servers, I plug them in, I do this and that, and I can mine coins. Well, most of us are like, whoa, that's way above my pay grade. I'm just trying to learn how to buy and sell a crypto, right? I don't know anything about mining a crypto. That's this. That's what this is. And like I said, the cool part is you keep getting coins. If this coin takes off, we talk about $16. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Bitcoin's 100,000. Right? Can you imagine this coin, I don't know, at 10,000? And maybe as the mine fills up, you do get fewer coins. And by the way, another record. We had a holiday. Monday was Memorial Day last week. We still set a record of the number of miners joined. We're ready to, I think today or tomorrow we'll hit 6,000 miners. I was like miner 3,000, so it's only been a month. You can see how many people are jumping on this thing. But could you imagine, even if you're like, I don't know, getting one coin a day, but it was $1,000 a day, how upset would you be? Right? You wouldn't be too upset, would you? That's the kind of things that we're talking about, Jason.
Mining a quarter of a coin at $1,000 would be $250. That's just if you're mining just a quarter of a coin, but you start talking in the future and it gets adopted properly, prices can go well beyond the $1,000 range, Joe, and we're gonna wait and see.
800-951-0592. Jason and I, we're coming right back with the Half Empty Cup.